Tired of hot, uncomfortable dress shirts that don't hold up? Meet Serve Clothing. The mesh collar shield blocks sweat stains, and built-in vents keep you comfortable under suits, all backed by a 2-year guarantee. Right now is your chance to get the best for free. Head to serveclothing.com/win. Enter for a chance to win $500 in free Serve shirts. Serveclothing.com/win. Dress shirts that actually serve you. No purchase necessary. Open to U.S. residents aged 18 or older. Void where prohibited. Entry must be received by May 31st, 2026. Official rules and details at serveclothing.com/win.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And today we have a special guest that every business owner, landlord, investor, and builder needs to hear from. We have Shea Christensen with COVR'd Commercial Insurance Group. Shea helps customers manage risk, and in 2026, risk is changing fast. We are so thrilled to have you. Welcome to the show.
Hey, appreciate it, guys. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks, Heather. Appreciate you having me on the show today, and I'm excited to talk to you a little bit more about what I do and give you a little bit more insight on kind of the commercial insurance and where that was kind of heading.
Absolutely. We talk about real estate all the time, but insurance is the part most people don't want to think about until it's too late. So tell us how you got into this business.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate the question. And I've actually started my career about 15 years ago in the financial industry, right? I was in kind of banking and helping a lot of business owners. The last career before I got into insurance was about 8 to 10 years in the commercial real estate space, right? I was doing a lot of lending. So I was helping business owners kind of facilitate a lot of their loans and their credit and, a lot of their wealth as well, kind of managing those assets. And I decided that, that's something that I'm pretty passionate about, but also want to kind of take the next step in getting into the insurance space because it's always adapting, right? Just like the market. And I wanted to make sure that I'm also helping business owners save money at the same time. And as you know, insurance continues to go up year after year, right? And so business owners, that's the least thing that they want to worry about, right? And so I decided to partner up with kind of the Cover group. It's Cover Insurance. And so we're a brokerage out of Lehigh, Utah. And, I did work for a small, or not small, but, large agency, top 10 national brokerage, kind of nationwide before I kind of broke apart and, started doing it on my own independently and, self-employed with Cover Group. And, now I'm, reaching out to small business owners, large business owners, kind of in that space and helping them, save money on their insurance. So
for sure. Okay. So what is commercial insurance and what isn't commercial insurance?
For sure. Thanks for the question. So commercial insurance, a lot of people think, what is commercial? It really is anything that is under kind of the umbrella for the business world, right? So if you're a business owner and you own a business, you typically need to have commercial insurance, right? Those typical policies that you would need is, general liability. General liability is to protect you against from third-party injury. That would be considered all your customers or anyone that's walking into your store. You need to have that kind of liability insurance, right? You're going to have property insurance, any insurance that you would typically be under the business, right? So if you're a business owner, whether that's in construction, general contracting, even if you own real estate, right? You're putting that real estate into an entity to protect yourself from any lawsuits. So you're going to need commercial insurance rather than a personal home insurance on that.
One piece of advice that I have, and I'm definitely not an insurance expert, is just review your policy before a claim happens. Know what it covers and know what it doesn't cover. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, 100%. When I got into this industry, I was actually shocked at how many producers, brokers like myself, isn't technically looking at those policies very closely with their business owners, right? And I feel like a lot of larger agencies kind of get fixated on providing you the policy and then you just not hear from them ever again, right? The service kind of gets messed up a little bit. And I think that's one thing that Cover Insurance does absolutely well at is the fact that we're meeting with our clients quarterly, right? Because there's things that are going to change throughout the year, things that are going to be needing to be added to a policy that you might miss contacting your broker. So we take it more of a consultative, more of a advisory route, right? And making sure that we're just kind of pretending that we're sitting in your office, right, as a partnership. with your business. And so we're not going to leave you kind of left behind in the service route. We're not going to, bring you your policy and, have someone that's going to take over that from after. So for me as a business owner, I want to make sure that I'm constantly in your office reviewing those policies with you, right? Year after year. And I'm not the one that's going to say, hey, sign on the dotted line. Here's your quote and here's your renewal at the end of the year. Let's get down to the weeds and let's review those things before we make any changes. And that's actually also going to help with your premium cost as well, right?
So as I was doing some research about insurance this week, because I knew you were going to be on the show, I noticed that generally premiums are up and underwriter is tighter and there's a lot more exclusions nationally than, previous years. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of different costs, being evaluated right now nationwide, right? And there's a lot of different things that are happening as far as exposures that are happening across, nationally, catastrophically losses. I don't know if you saw just recently this last week, we saw a massive multifamily building in Harriman being burnt, right? And then maybe a few months ago in Lehigh, there was a commercial building right up on the mountain, apartment complex being built, right? So a lot of those catastrophic losses, right? Hopefully they had their builder's risk policy written correctly, because if they didn't, that would be a massive loss. And hopefully they're getting their money that the insurance is going to pay out.
Well,
But
you mentioned if it's written correctly.
yeah,
Who's that on to make sure that it's written correctly?
absolutely. I mean, here as professionals, as a professional licensed insurance agent, right, it really falls on us. We should be taking the approach and having the exact data in front of us to make sure that those policies are written correctly, but also the valuations of those properties, right? At the end of the day, if those valuations aren't where they should be year after year, then typically the insurance carrier is going to fight tooth and nail not to pay out those claims. So it really relies on us as brokers to make sure that those policies are written the way that they should be written, in case something like that, a fire, completely burns the building down to the ground and you're not getting less than what you should be owed on that policy. So, yeah.
I think insurance is one of those things that you just don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And so you really need an insurance expert like you
For sure.
that has your back and knows what to look for and can help you with that. Risk management, people say that all the time. What does that even mean in plain English, Shay?
Yeah, layman's terms, right? Risk management. So whenever we are placing a policy, right, writing a policy, that's placing a risk, right? Any term in the insurance space is risk is being evaluated, right? Whenever we go to an underwriter and we present a type of risk, we're also making sure that we are looking at the client, but also painting the perfect picture back to the underwriter, because ultimately at the end of the day, that underwriter is going to write your policy. And as brokers, we're representing the client. So we want to make sure we're painting the best picture. We're submitting the most perfect applications, because at the end of the day, we are fighting and we're selling the client to those underwriters. And I think if, underwriters are seeing applications all day long, right? And they're sifting through those. And if you're not properly putting a perfect submission in, I wouldn't say perfect, but a clean submission to those underwriters, then they're just going to sit there and decline, right? And so we want to get past those audit declines, and we want to make sure that we're having that proper communication back to the underwriters.
Okay, so there's 5 common commercial coverages that most business owners are required to have. And much like me, I don't really understand all of these,
sure.
but I did more research about that, even though I do have all of these.
Yeah.
First, of course, property insurance. That's an easy one. That covers the buildings, the equipment, and the inventory. General liability protects against injuries and property damage claims if someone falls on your sidewalk or if something happens to them, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Workman's comp covers employee injuries if something happens to them. Commercial auto, that's for business owned or business used vehicles. So that would be in my furniture store, my box truck that my warehouse guys drive,
exactly.
Correct? And then umbrella insurance. This is the one I was least familiar with, but did some research and figured out that it's extra liability protection when a claim exceeds your base limits.
Correct.
So it's just additional insurance just for the unknown.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah, correct. And if you like, I can explain a little bit more about some of these policies,
Yes,
right?
please.
So Property, most of these policies would be considered under what's called a BOP. It's a business owner's policy that we would initially create, that we would provide these necessary lines of coverage that are necessary for your business, right? Now, there's a couple lines that may or may not be, relevant to your business, but I would say let's explain the umbrella, because I want to answer that question first, because most people may or may not understand that umbrella piece.
And that might have to be something we put a pause on because we're running out of time. We have Shea Christensen. He's with COVR'd Real Estate Insurance, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. You are located in Lehigh.
Located in Lehigh.
How do people find you?
Yeah, so you can look me up on LinkedIn, but west side of Lehigh, we're right next to Silicon Slopes. Our office is 2600 West Executive Parkway, Suite 101. So you can reach us walk in, you can come in the office, you can get a hold of me, or you can get a hold of me on my cell phone, 208-991-6848.
When we come back, we're going to answer the question that I asked, and we're going to talk about what's happening right now with rates, coverage, and the commercial insurance market, and what business owners can do to protect themselves. Stay tuned. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. We'll be right back.
Discover, Plan, Do, the Salt Lake Home Show presented by Mountain America Credit Union, January 9th through 11th at the Mountain America Expo Center. Meet Jasmine Roth of HGTV's Help, I Wrecked My House on Friday and Saturday. Plan your visit and save on tickets at saltlakehomeshow.com.
This message comes from WaterAid, changing the world through water. Imagine walking miles every day to collect water because your home has no taps, no toilets, no clean water. That's the reality for 1 in 4 people worldwide. Your support can change everything for them because everything, health, food, opportunity, starts with water. Bring clean water to everyone, everywhere. Donate at wateraid.org/audio.
It's time your hard-earned money works harder for you. With the Wealthfront Cash Account, your uninvested cash can earn up to 3.95% APY. That's a 0.65% boost over an already high rate for 3 months, just for being a new client. Plus free instant withdrawals to eligible accounts. Start today at wealthfront.com. 3.3% base APY via program banks as of January 30th, 2026. It is representative variable, requires no minimum, and is earned on funds swept to program banks. Boost up to $150,000. Cash account offered by Wealthfront Brokerage LLC, member FINRA SIPC, not a bank.
Weight Watchers now offers access to affordable GLP-1s. It works for members like...
I'm Haley, and I've lost 100 pounds. Weight Watchers has everything I need, from weight loss medications to nutrition support and help with my side effects. It's all in one place.
Weight Watchers handles the insurance for you and offers affordable cash pay options. With our program, our members are losing more weight with expert nutrition and side effect support.
I'm Mike, and I've lost 135 pounds. Weight Watchers prescribing GLP-1 medications. It's been life-changing.
I'm Sharia, and I lost 80 pounds on Weight Watchers. I realized that it would take more than a prescription to lose weight and feel good on a GLP-1.
Better results, expert support, lose more weight, make it last.
I can't imagine doing a GLP-1 without Weight Watchers.
Get started for as low as $25 at weightwatchers.com/GLP-1. For over 60 years, we've helped millions of members find what works for them. Now, it's your turn. Weight Watchers. Watch it work.
Hey Utah, it's Nate Orchard with Advanced Window Products. Looking to protect your largest investment, your home? Advanced Windows offers energy-efficient windows that save you money and elevate your home's curb appeal. Custom windows with a lifetime warranty. Visit advancedwindows.com now to get our best offer, $2,500 off 10 or more windows, and schedule your free in-home consultation. Don't wait. Save $2,500 off your windows. That's advancedwindows.com. We build them, install them, and guarantee them for life. AdvancedWindows.com.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the KSL Real Estate Show. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And today we're talking with Shea Christensen from COVR'd Commercial Insurance Group, and we're digging into what's happening in commercial insurance for 2026. I'm a business owner, I'm a landlord, I'm an investor, and I build a lot of homes. This is one of those segments you'll want to share and listen to. Shea, please answer the question that we previously asked you. Do you remember what it was?
Yes, it was about the umbrella policy, right?
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes, umbrella policy this week.
Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, so umbrella policy. I'll give you kind of an example. So I had a client last week that came to me and we reviewed their policies, right? And they're a massive construction company out of Idaho. So we actually don't just facilitate insurance in Utah. We're actually nationwide. But this client came to me and they were actually missing out on jobs. And one of the biggest reasons is because some of these bids that they're getting requires them to have an umbrella policy. An umbrella policy, just think of the umbrella that sits above your underlying limits to your policies like general liability and commercial auto. So let's say general liability will have an underlying limit of $1 million. Well, that umbrella policy, if there's any claim that's held against you that's over $1 million, then the umbrella policy would then take effect to cover those additional limits over those underlying limits. So it's just a sense of security to be able to help protect your business a little bit further, but also there's types of businesses that actually are required to have the umbrella policy.
Love that. Okay, so for all of our KSL listeners who think commercial insurance is just like homeowners insurance, what's the real difference?
Yeah, I mean, commercial insurance is protecting your business, right? It's protecting your baby that you've built, right? So if you are a business owner, you need insurance to be able to protect some of the liability that you're handling day by day, whether it's in manufacturing, construction, dental, or whatever you think, right? That insurance is a super big piece and important to your business and helping you survive based on, growing your business. And, we're all in the business of saving money and making money, right? So you want to be able to help protect that business. Homeowners insurance is protecting that property, right? From any catastrophic loss, flood, fire. So at the end of the day, if you don't have insurance on your business and you did have a claim, are you going to be out of pocket for that money, or would you like to file a claim with insurance to be able to pay that deductible and then pay out those limits?
I'm wondering if there's insurance for something that we've seen over the past few years, seemingly everywhere. Businesses getting hacked and being held for ransom.
For sure.
Is there insurance against that?
Absolutely. I mean, cyber policies, right, are massively important these days. I mean, AI is just completely... We live in a world that AI is getting dangerous, right? I love AI, but there's a lot of things that are about it that could be something that is can impact your business, right? So if you are obtaining any client information for whatsoever, credit cards, any information on the computers, emails, anything that could be hacked, cyber policy is going to be additional policy that you would probably want to add as an additional line of coverage to protect yourself from any of that.
How about when they demand ransom for your information? I mean, this has happened even to school districts. My goodness. Can you insure against that ransom?
Again, yeah. I mean, you can definitely insure for a ransom, but it goes back to one of those questions that, Heather said at the beginning is, right? You want to make sure that we're reviewing those policies, because at the end of the day, if there was ever something that did happen ransomly, I'll give you an example. We had a client that actually called in and said, hey, I need to, it was his broker that was supposedly on the other line, right? And he's saying, hey, I need to transfer some money to pay this policy. Well, little did he know it was someone else that was trying to have that money transferred into that account.
Somebody
right?
in Nigeria.
Yeah, someone in Nigeria or whatever, just trying to figure out the account information. And once that money gets transferred, right, for whatever reason, that business owner thought it was his broker. Well, that money's gone, right? So back to your point, you want to make sure that your broker is going over those endorsements, going over those lines of coverages, because there can be simple exclusions in those policies that at the end of the day might protect you and may not protect you.
Okay, Shea, here's a question for you.
Okay.
What can a business owner do to reduce the risk and reduce premiums?
The biggest thing is, you're being proactive as a business owner. And sometimes as business owners, you guys are very busy, right, trying to operate your business. So that goes back to kind of how we differentiate ourselves as brokers at the COVR'd Group, is the fact that we are going to be your business partner in that space. We want to be able to provide you advice, recommendations, but also consult on your behalf on that business, right? And so the biggest thing is being proactive, keeping property values accurate year after year, right? Because the market changes. Those values either go up or down. And then we're documenting safety procedures, managing tenant, vendor insurance properly. We're fixing small issues before they turn into massive claims, right? We're starting renewals early. So renewal process is typically 90 to 120 days, right? We're having conversations with you. We're meeting with you. We're sitting down, updating some information. Insurance companies reward businesses that look organized, intentional, right? And lower risk. Good risk management usually leads to better pricing over time. So,
what's the biggest commercial insurance mistake you see Utah business owners make?
The biggest mistake is assuming they're covered because they've always had a policy, right? Businesses grow, they change tenants, they add services, right? They hire employees, but the insurance never gets updated. So brokers year after year will just renew policies without actually going to the business owner and actually having a thorough review. So when a claim happens, exclusions show up, one's expected, and insurance is set and forget a thing, especially fast-growing market like Utah.
So next, we're going to specifically talk about commercial real estate. Landlords, investors, and builders, listen up.
Yeah.
The insurance risks people don't think about until it's a nightmare situation. Today, we have Shea Christensen with COVR'd Commercial Insurance Group with us. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Discover, Plan, Do, the Salt Lake Home Show presented by Mountain America Credit Union, January 9th through 11th at the Mountain America Expo Center. Meet Jasmine Roth of HGTV's Help, I Wrecked My House on Friday and Saturday. Plan your visit and save on tickets at saltlakehomeshow.com.
This message comes from WaterAid. Imagine having no clean water to drink, cook, or clean. That's the reality for 1 in 4 people worldwide. You can change that. Donate now at wateraid.org/audio.
Get the $4,000 cash you need from Lend Nation. With clear terms and no hidden fees from a licensed lender, you'll know exactly what to expect with us. Simple, secure, supported. Apply now at lendnation.com/cash or your local Lend Nation store. That's lendnation.com/cash.
There are a wide variety of financial products available in the marketplace, so your choice of such products should match your financial needs. Short-term, small-dollar credit used over a long period of time can be expensive. Certain restrictions apply. See store for details.
Welcome to the KSL Real Estate Show. Hear updates on the national and local Utah real estate markets. We cover residential and commercial properties. Plus, get inspiring ideas to make your house a home from our sponsor, Osmond Designs. Here's Heather Osmond and Jeff Caplan on KSL News Radio.
Welcome. It's the KSL Real Estate Show. Thanks so much for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And I'm a local business owner. I love doing my business, and insurance is not usually something that I think about. We've been doing this real estate show, Jeff, for over 6 years.
Yeah.
We've never had an insurance person on, and it's about time that we did, because I think there's a lot of things that we don't know about because we don't even know what questions to ask. So today we have Shea Christensen from COVR'd Commercial Insurance Group. And this segment is especially important for commercial property owners and investors. Shea, I know you're a real estate investor.
Yeah.
You own some multifamily?
Yeah, I own some multifamily, single-family properties. I haven't dabbed into the commercial real estate space, but I'd love to get into that space eventually, but mostly residential properties, and I manage them all myself.
So if you own a shopping center, a strip mall, a warehouse, an office building, or even a small multifamily property, listen closely. Let's talk about, first and foremost, what are the biggest risk categories that are driving claims nationally right now, Shea?
Yeah. I could think of a few that stand out nationally. I mean, property losses are the bigger one, right? Because replacement costs are higher right now. Liability claims are more expensive due to lawsuits and legal costs. Theft, vandalism are up, right? We see that kind of nationwide. People are breaking into strip malls or real estate buildings, things like that, looting, right? In retail and that commercial real estate space specifically. And then cyber claims, right? We talked a little bit about cybers. Cyber claims are exploding right now, even for small business owners. I think one of the smallest claim that averaged nationally, I think was like $600,000, right? In a cyber claim. That's huge. Unemployment rates right now, unemployed related claims are more common than most owners expect. And then none of these are rare anymore, right? Which is why coverage details matter so much.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
All stuff that you just wouldn't know.
For sure.
If you're just a typical homeowner or business owner like I am here in Utah, what are some of the most common landlord claims that you see in Utah that maybe someone like me needs to be aware of?
Okay, yeah. I think some of the most common ones you typically see are like slip and fall claims, right? Especially in parking lots, driveways, sidewalks, snow and ice. Like we live in Utah, right? We get a lot of snow. So you got to protect yourself and provide some of that small detail kind of in your lease agreements that maybe your tenants need to make sure that they're keeping track of the snow melts and things like that, so they're protecting themselves, but you're also being protected from any lawsuit.
Are you talking about people who are filing a claim? You have somebody who slipped and fell, they want their hospital bill paid, or they want $7 million because they slipped and fell?
Luckily, knock on wood, right, I haven't had any of those claims. But one of the biggest things that even in my lease agreements, right, is I require all my tenants to have their own renter's insurance policies. And that just protects all of their personal property, right, from theft, things like that, especially in a common shared space in like a duplex, for example, right? They share space. I cover insurance on my property, and I also have an umbrella policy on my property for the simple fact that $1 million in liability coverage really just doesn't cut it these days, right? If there's a civil action lawsuit against you or something, or someone slips and falls, I mean, obviously, at the end of the day, you want to choose the right tenants that aren't going to come after you for some simple as a slip and fall, right? But you have those anomalies that people will come after you no matter what, and so you want to make sure that you're protecting yourself. So having the proper insurance in place is something that is super important.
Now, this seems like a concern that even if you decide to rent out your own house and go buy another, you're a landlord now, and you need to be protected. What kind of policies does that person renting out their own home need?
Yeah. I mean, homeowners insurance policy is the number one, right? But I'll tell you a little bit more as a business owner what you should be doing as far as additional protection, right? I have each of my properties set up an LLC, right? And so those entities are also protecting me from any other personal assets that I might own myself, right? So when you purchase a home, you actually need to deed the property in your name. But once the closing has been done, then you can go ahead and call your title company and put that LLC titled on the home. So, if there is any lawsuit and they're trying to come after you for any reason, at least you're protected personally. And if there was anything that they wanted to come after, your home is being protected under that liability company.
Shea, you're like that commercial insurance friend that protects all of the people from blind spots that we just don't even know about because you know what to look for.
Well, that right there, that answer, opening up an LLC it just comes from common knowledge from my background, right? Coming from finance, things like that. There's a lot of people actually that are just very unaware of things like that. And that has nothing to do with insurance, right? It's just kind of the peace of mind of protecting a business owner. And that's what we really strive at Cover Insurance is we're just not the type of people that is just going to write your policies and give you quotes, right? We're going to provide additional details. We're that true partnership with your business, right? We also are going to be able to refer clients of ours and open up our network to our business owners that come into the office, right? Where they need help with plumbing, electricians. More than likely, my network of friends or just associates and people that I'm really close with, I have no problem referring those people to some of my clients. And so I think truly at the end of the day, that's really why we have grown the way we have, and one of the fastest growing agencies in Utah, because we offer additional advice or additional, answers to those questions.
I think that's amazing. Okay, I work with a lot of builders and contractors as an interior designer. And in fact, this last week I was at Parade of Homes meetings, not only for Utah Valley, but Salt Lake and Park City. And I'm part of all those conversations. What's the most common coverage gap that you see for builders and contractors?
Yeah, I think the biggest gap, right, is relying too heavily on subcontractors' insurance without properly verifying it. Certificates aren't reviewed closely. Additional insured endorsements are missing or they're wrong. Limits are way too low, right? Goes back to kind of that umbrella piece that I was talking about, that umbrellas are really something that you should have on your policy, especially if you're missing out on bids. When something goes wrong on a job site, the general contractor often finds out that they're holding the bag. So builders need strong risk transfer. Proper additional insureds should be on policies, and that actually matches the scope of the work. So all of those endorsements and things that I had mentioned is something that these contractors and even builders should be really looking out after. And if they have never had that reviewed with them, or if their broker has never talked to them about it, that's also an easy conversation to be like, hey, let's allow my agency and myself to take a comprehensive look at those things, and make sure that we are finding it. If there is any missing gaps, then we're properly identifying those for you.
What's the easiest way to find you? Do you have a website?
Yeah, I mean, Cover Insurance. It's probably under Cover Group Insurance. You can look it up. I think the address needs to be updated. It's not Bluffdale, but it's Lehigh.
Are you Cover COVR?
Yes.
Okay.
COVR, Cover Insurance. So located in Lehigh, right on the west side of Lehigh, right next to Silicon Slopes and Corn Bellies. We're in the first floor there, 2600 West Executive Parkway. Come on in, walk through the doors. We don't really have a receptionist, so one of us or either of us that are in the office will greet you and come directly to my office, and we'll sit down and we'll have a chat.
Okay. I love all of that.
Yeah.
I have been in your office. It's beautiful. I helped actually do some furnishings in there, and I'm really proud of what you do. And I've been able to get to know you from that perspective and some of your partners. I own a business. I love supporting local business, and I love how aggressive you are. You pick up the phone.
Yeah.
You're a go-getter.
For sure.
So I think that's another thing that really makes you different than other commercial real estate insurance companies. How does business interruption coverage actually work? I've heard a lot about that this week, and that is a question that I've been dying to ask you today.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I want to first answer or just get back to that, what you just mentioned, right? I think the biggest thing that differentiates myself is I'm so responsive, right? There's far too many brokers out there that or even clients that I hear back, like, I can never get a hold of my broker. I've called the service line. I can't get a hold of account management. Like, what is going on, right? So that's one thing that I have always made a point across, that, like, yeah, I'm a go-getter, but, like, I am always going to be super responsive, right? At the end of the day, I think that's what really matters for business owners, is they want someone that is going to pick up the phone, or even if you're in a meeting, call them back, right? So yeah, let's go back to your question. How does business interrupt coverage actually work? So business interruption coverage actually helps replace lost income when a covered loss forces your business to slow down or shut down. So think of fires, major water damage, or any other physical loss that stops your operation from collecting revenue. It can help pay ongoing expenses like rent, your payroll to cover those employees. The key is making sure that those limits and timeframes actually match how long it would take your business to get back up and running. And you would be shocked at how many policies I actually see on there that, let's say a building burnt down to the ground, and some of these business interruption coverage policies that I have seen only covers you for 3 months. Now, let me ask you a question, Heather. How long do you think it would take to really build a building from ground up?
Longer than 3 months.
Longer than 3 months, right? So we have programs that would basically provide you up to 12 months of coverage. So that helps with placing tenants, if you're a landlord, into another location to be able to provide that income. It helps you consistently get the amount of money that you would be making, right, in those months that were lost, and especially with all of your payroll to your employees. So they're not also having to fight finding a job while your business is trying to be rebuilt.
That's such good info.
Do the premiums make it something that a lot of businesses resist?
Yeah, I would think so, right? I think a lot of people resist premiums, right? Because they don't want to spend all that money, right? But it's that one time that you have a claim that comes across, and let's say you pay a $5,000 deductible to get the $200,000 that were owed to you. Or you're just self-insuring yourself by not having insurance, and then what's more valuable to you? Paying out the $200,000 out of pocket if you could afford that, or, you know, losing the risk of losing your business if you didn't have insurance.
Shea, how do people find you?
Yeah, you can call me, 208-991-6848. That is my cell phone. You can
give it twice. Go ahead.
Okay, 208-991-6848. You can give me a call, shoot me a text, call me. Let's set up a time to come to your office, or even meet me at my office at 2600 West Executive Parkway, Suite 101, Lehigh, Utah, 84043.
You're right there in Silicon Slopes. Shea
Yes.
Christensen, COVR, or Cover Commercial Insurance Group. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Discover, Plan, Do, the Salt Lake Home Show presented by Mountain America Credit Union, January 9th through 11th at the Mountain America Expo Center. Meet Jasmine Roth of HGTV's Help, I Wrecked My House on Friday and Saturday. Plan your visit and save on tickets at saltlakehomeshow.com.
Looking for peace and quiet at your home? Advanced Window Products offers replacement windows that don't just keep the weather out, they reduce the noise too. Whether it's traffic, neighbors, or dogs nonstop barking, our energy-efficient windows help create a more serene environment. Start enjoying a quieter home today. Visit advancedwindows.com and get details of our $2,500 off 10 or more windows. Let our experts show you how to block out the noise and bring in the calm.
We're back with the KSL Real Estate Show, sponsored by Osmond Designs on KSL News Radio.
Welcome back to the KSL Real Estate Show. We thank you for listening. I'm Jeff Caplan. Heather Osmond is here from Osmond Designs. Her stores are in Lehigh and Orem.
Yes, they are. And we have incredible things at our stores right now. So if you're out and about today, please stop by the Lehigh and the Orem stores. Today, the entire store is an additional 20% off. And all yellow sale tags are an additional 30% off. So there's a lot of really great stuff out there right now. And of course, we do special orders, which is always very, very fun. But we have over 40,000 square feet of in-stock merchandise, which is fantastic. Right now, we are in the final segment of our KSL Real Estate Show today. And we have Shea Christensen from COVR'd, COVR, I have to emphasize that, Commercial Insurance Group. Shea, you are one of the best commercial insurance agents in the state of Utah, and I've been so happy to have you on the show. We've been talking about the risks that are hitting businesses now, even if you don't think that they apply to you. I'm a business owner. I don't oftentimes think of insurance. Yeah. I think of it once a year when it renews, and then I forget about it. Yeah. And so having a great commercial insurance agent, or even a personal home insurance agent, is more important than ever. So as an employer like me, there are employment practices liability. This is something that I didn't know a lot about. I've heard of it before, but why should a business owner care about this or need this?
Yeah, for sure. So on the policy would be EPLI, employment practices liability insurance, right? And why should business owners care about that? It's because there's claims that are related to employees, how they're managed, things like wrongful termination, discrimination, harassment, sexual harassment, right? Retaliation. These are all points that would be covered under employment practices liability. So even good employers can be hit hard with these claims. And they're expensive to defend, so whether you're right or wrong, as teams grow and regulations get stricter, right, EPLI is one of the most overlooked, most important coverages for business owners.
That is so disappointing.
Yeah.
We even have to think that we would need that today. Before we close today, I do need to give a shout out to Central Bank. They are the sponsor of this KSL Real Estate Show, and they are such an incredible asset to the Utah community. They have locations all across the Wasatch Front. They've been in business for over 130 years. They do commercial lending. They do construction loans. They do residential loans. They do auto loans. They have a youth savings plan. And what's really cool about them as well is they have their loan committee meetings every Tuesday and Thursday. And so if you have all of the information that they need, it can be approved that quickly, which is unreal.
That's awesome.
Does not have to go out of state or out of the country to be approved and looked at. So thank you, Central Bank, for all that you do. Shea, again, one last time, how do people find you?
Yeah, you can find me. Hey, look me up on LinkedIn. Shea Christensen. My name is S-H-E-A. That's how it's spelled. Christensen with T-E-N-S-E-N. Or you can find me on my cell phone, 208-991-6848. I'll repeat that, 208-991-6848. I am very responsive. You will get a text back or a phone call back. But yeah, let's get you on the calendar. Let's come to your business. Let's look over your policies. Come to our office located in Lehigh, 2600 West Executive Parkway, Suite 101, Lehigh, Utah, 84043, right next to Silicon Slopes.
And I think the overall theme for today is that every business should be doing a simple risk checkup. You should be reviewing your property values, confirm your leases and your insurance, and make sure that they match. Update your payroll and operations. Look at cyber and employment exposures, which is something I hadn't previously thought of. And then start your renewals a little bit early. Most coverage gaps don't come from bad decisions. They come from things quietly changing over time and not being aware of those things.
Absolutely.
That annual review keeps small issues from becoming big problems. We all need a Shea Christensen
yes,
and
100%.
Cover Commercial Real Estate in Insurance Group in our lives. Thank you for being on the show
Thank
and
you, Heather.
sharing
Thanks,
such
Jeff.
valuable information with us today. You're listening to the KSL Real Estate Show. I'm Heather Osmond, owner of Osmond Designs, here with Jeff Caplan of KSL. Not only am I a business owner, but I'm also an investor. So this show specifically has been so valuable for me. Thank you so much again for being here.
Yes, thank you. I really appreciate it.
We'll be back next week.
Hey Utah, it's Nate Orchard with Advanced Window Products. Looking to protect your largest investment, your home? Advanced Windows offers energy-efficient windows that save you money and elevate your home's curb appeal. Custom windows with a lifetime warranty. Visit advancedwindows.com now to get our best offer, $2,500 off 10 or more windows, and schedule your free in-home consultation. Don't wait. Save $2,500 off your windows. That's advancedwindows.com. We build them, install them, and guarantee them for life. AdvancedWindows.com.